The list of job sites, companies, factories, and public facilities in Massachusetts at which asbestos-containing materials, or ACMs, are now or have been used is extensive, containing over 400 different industries and institutions. They run the gamut from the usual industrial settings such as gas works, power plants, foundries, and shipyards, to several school and university buildings, retirement homes, banks, and libraries. The list even contains a motion picture theater. Why would asbestos be in so many places? The fact is that Massachusetts has been inhabited by non-native peoples for nearly 400 years. As a result, there is an abundance of old buildings that have been remodeled and renovated numerous times. Meanwhile, asbestos building materials have been around since the 1850s, when Henry Johns started experimenting with fireproof shingles as a young man. Ironically, Henry Johns was killed by the same substance that made him wealthy. His company, the H.W. Johns Manufacturing Company, was the predecessor of Johns Manville, dying of asbestosis at the age of 60. Between 1980 and the year 2000, 759 people from Massachusetts shared John's fate. An additional 613 succumbed to mesothelioma, a rare and highly malignant form of cancer that attacks the pleural lining and often spreads to other parts of the body. For many of them, exposure was the result of ACM building materials that was used extensively in buildings for perhaps 100 years. Industries in which heat or corrosive chemicals were a problem also made use of asbestos products in many places, including, ironically enough, the protective garments worn by workers. These garments, gloves, aprons, and even full-body suits, had asbestos linings that released fibers when the outer surfaces became ripped or worn. Amherst, Boston, Braintree, Cambridge, Cape Cod, Dartmouth, Fall River, Gloucester, Holyoke, Kingston, Plymouth, Quincy, Salem, Worcester, and even Martha's Vineyard are just a few of the Massachusetts sites, towns and communities where people of nearly all walks of life were exposed to asbestos. Asbestos mining in Massachusetts. Naturally occurring deposits in Massachusetts are located in two places. One of these is in the rural western part of the state in the vicinity of Pittsfield. The other is located in the central part of the state in the area of Quabbin Reservoir, near Harvard Forest. There have also been two asbestos mines in the state. Unsurprisingly, neither was located far from the asbestos deposits. One of them, located in North Cambridge, has a particularly infamous name attached to it, W.R. Grace and Company. This corporation has been the major source of asbestos poisoning. They were among the players in the asbestos industry whose management was well aware of the health hazards of asbestos, yet took no action to either warn or protect employees or the people of the community. W.R. Grace also had asbestos processing operations in Woburn and Walpole. As of this writing, 6 surviving corporate officers of W.R. Grace and Company are under indictment on criminal charges and are facing trial in federal court. The 7th, a mine supervisor, ironically died of cancer in February of 2007. Asbestosis and mesothelioma. In many states, unlike the situation in Massachusetts, mesothelioma victims outnumber asbestosis victims, sometimes by a substantial amount. This is despite the fact that mesothelioma is much rarer. It is, however, incurable and fatal in all cases. The average prognosis for a mesothelioma victim is 18 months following the initial diagnosis. Asbestosis is also incurable. However, if caught and diagnosed in its early stage, its progress can be arrested. Many asbestosis victims live long, reasonably normal lives with medication and the use of supplemental oxygen. Legal resources in Massachusetts. A search through the Massachusetts Federal District Court cases for asbestos-related personal injury product liability lawsuits brings up a list of 10 recent lawsuits from 2006 and 2007. It should be noted, however, that none of these lawsuits was a suit of an individual against a corporation or company, but rather they were petitions and notices of removal from asbestos litigation. 2 of these cases involve Metropolitan Life Insurance Company, which filed for bankruptcy settlement in its nationwide asbestos lawsuits. Massachusetts is ranked 9th in the U.S. for mesothelioma cases, with a mesothelioma mortality rate of 16.39 per million. Massachusetts has a crude mortality rank of 8 in the country. The state of Massachusetts has an unusually large number of known asbestos-exposed areas. In Abington, the Abington Fire Station, Abington High School, and Abington School are known to be asbestos-exposed areas. In Ashkenet, Ashkenet gas pipes, Ashkenet housing, the Ashkenet telephone building, and St. Francis Xavier School are asbestos-exposed areas. In Adams, Arnold Fishing Company and M.F. Ashley Company of Attleboro are known areas exposed to asbestos. Asbestos has also been found in Rosen Textile in Agawam. In Amherst, there are many known asbestos-exposed areas. These include Amherst College, Valentine Hall, and areas of the University of Massachusetts, including dormitories, the library, the boiler room, the Student Union Building, the Men's Physical Education Building, the Physics Building, and the Science Edition. In Andover, Andover School, the Fishbrook Pumping Station, the IRS Building, and the Phillips Academy have at some point been exposed to asbestos. The Arlington Boys Club and the Ashburn and Telephone Building are also known asbestos-exposed areas. In Ashland, Ashland High School and Fenwall Incorporated are exposed areas. In Ashton, Blackstone Valley Gas Company and Blackstone Valley Gas Tank are affected. St. Bernard's Church in Assonet and Athol High School and the Athol YMCA in Athol are sites of asbestos exposure. Attleboro, Massachusetts alone has a very long list of known asbestos-exposed areas. These include the American Siskelcraft Corporation, the Athesons of Attleboro, Attleboro Elderly Housing, Attleboro Junior High School, Attleboro School, Attleboro Town Hall, Attleboro Trust Company, Attleboro Veterans Housing, the Bruce Diamond Company, the Donnelly Building, Hope Gardens Housing, Joe Martin School, Kinney Shoe Store, Old Hickton Hotel, Peter Thatcher Junior High, the Sweet Library, Yeager Estate, Balfour Company, Balfour Jewelry, Crown and Yarn Dye Company, General Instruments, Handy and Harmon, Holiday Inn, Jostin's Jewelry Manufacturing Company, L.G. Balfour Company, La Salette Shrine, Leachland Garner, Marathon Company, Montrose Hauser, National Guard Armory, Attleboro St. Regis Paper, Sturdy Memorial Hospital, Sweet Manufacturing, the Texas Instrument Wastewater Treatment Facility, Texas Instruments, Thompson Chemical, Tells Manufacturing, and the YMCA. Those interested in filing lawsuits should know that the statute of limitations for personal injury law in Massachusetts is 3 years with a discovery rule that states that this amount of time begins when the problem, in this case the mesothelioma, either was discovered or should have been discovered. Wrongful death cases fall under the same statute of limitations and follow the same discovery rule. There is no specific statute about asbestos in Massachusetts. Thank you for watching. This video was produced by Asbestos.Net, a leading resource on all aspects of asbestos and mesothelioma. Our priority is to inform victims about the devastating effects of asbestos exposure, mesothelioma, asbestos cancer, asbestosis, and other asbestos-related diseases, and to advise them with a wealth of information. Individuals whose lives have been touched by mesothelioma have numerous questions and concerns. Their caregivers and family members also need accurate, reliable information. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos cancer and need more information, we invite you to visit and explore the thousands of pages of oncologist-reviewed material on Asbestos.net, to call our convenient toll-free number shown below and speak with a mesothelioma specialist, or to use the simple contact form found at Asbestos.net to request a free copy of our informative books, custom inserts, and DVD. Asbestos.net. information, and help for patients and families.